Caitlin Clark does not have to stay with the Indiana Fever.
The owners of major sports teams are plagued by a horrible, unavoidable nightmare that keeps them up at night with cold sweats. It's not an abrupt, unanticipated losing run. A top player's injury is not devastating. It's the terrifying, crippling revelation that your billion-dollar golden goose, the one generational asset that saved your whole company from oblivion, has suddenly become aware of the pure, unadulterated power of her own influence. Talent may set the rules on the court, but leverage completely determines the franchise's destiny in the multi-billion-dollar world of professional sports. When LeBron James famously returned to the Cleveland Cavaliers and signed purposeful one-year contracts to hold the front office absolutely captive and compel them to surround him with top competence, we saw him perfect this precise kind of psychological warfare. And now, in Indianapolis, a 24-year-old point guard is using the same brutal, smart tactic, leaving the whole basketball establishment stunned. Welcome back. This is Caitlin the Star, and today we are fully exposing the most intense power fight that might change a club for the whole 2026 season. We are combining the cold, hard, unquestionable analytical reality of the WNBA wage cap and ticket economics with the visceral, unreserved indignation of a fan base that is actively carrying out a large financial boycott. We are referring to the widely shared podcast recording that just blasted a powerful, well-planned warning shot straight into the Indiana Fever boardroom. We are dissecting Caitlin Clark's recent public, composed, and systematic threat to leave the Indiana Fever bankrupt if head coach Stephanie White is not fired right away and the poisonous front office regime is not dismantled. You should be ready because Caitlin Clark just placed a ticking time bomb worth millions of dollars right on the ownership's desk if you believed that the altercations on the sidelines and the stolen assists were the pinnacle of this civil war. Let's establish the situation and thoroughly analyze the recent national auditory psychological warfare. Because the underlying catastrophic danger is, as usual, entirely ignored by the mainstream media.
Fever. Caitlin Clark joined Aaliyah Boston and Candace Parker on their podcast Post Moves. Great episode, by the way. And there was something that I noticed. Caitlin Clark was not committing to the Indiana Fever long term when her and Aaliyah Boston talked about Aaliyah Boston's contract.
Recently, Caitlin Clark participated in a highly anticipated edition of the Post Moves podcast, which was hosted by WNBA great Candace Parker and her colleague Aaliyah Boston. It was a laid-back, cozy setting. The tone was light-hearted and conversational. As they spoke about the demanding nature of the professional league and the tremendous strain of being in the public eye, the topic of the future, team development, and long-term contract extensions inevitably came up. The franchise center, Aaliyah Boston, spoke candidly and joyfully about her own contractual security. She proudly informed the audience that she had just chosen to extend her contract and is safely and joyfully tied in with the Indiana Fever organization until 2029. Fever till 2029. Hey, I love playing with you. Boston asked Clark, looking at him with the sincere warmth of a comrade. It was a perfect PR stunt. The front office expects a highly media-trained, politically correct franchise player to smile, nod enthusiastically, and say, I love playing with you, too. I absolutely cannot wait to build a dynasty here in Indiana for the next 10 years. That was the exact scripted moment. The league's marketing division requires that.
Whatever.
She's on that till 2029. 2029.
Yeah,
Are
no,
you
that's
with
what
the
I'm
Fever
saying.
till 2029?
Hey, I love playing with you.
Yeah, well, I'm only signed till...
Yeah. Don't worry about that.
Well, next year.
Don't worry.
She said, well, hey, look, I'm only signed till next year. I love playing with you too, but I'm only signed till next year. You're here till 2029. I'm not necessarily, respectfully. You know what I mean? Listen, I think Caitlin Clark should hold off on re-signing with the Indiana Fever. If she's going to re-sign, you hold off to...
Caitlin Clark gave a remark that broke the glass panes of the Indiana Fever executive offices, looking back at Aaliyah Boston fully unaffected, her expression wholly lacking of the anticipated business excitement. She said, yeah, well, I'm only signed till next year. Don't worry about that. We'll figure that out unless I sign my epic. Let that all settle in. Allow yourself to be overwhelmed by the precise, deliberate heaviness of those words. She did not make a commitment. She did not indicate that she was endorsing the extension. She did not promise Indianapolis her unwavering allegiance. She left the door open in a clear, purposeful, and public manner. Unless I sign my epic, my contract is only valid till next year. For those who are not familiar with the specifics of the WNBA collective bargaining agreement, the EPIC stands for the Supermax contract extension that rookie contract holders who attain full WNBA status are eligible for. It's a huge, very profitable financial bag. It stands for prosperity passed down through generations. The moment the papers is passed across the boardroom table, 99% of professional athletes naively and joyously sign this kind of guaranteed life-altering money. However, 99% of professional athletes are not like Caitlin Clark. She is a basketball player with an excellent team of financial and legal advisors, and she is aware of the hostile, inept climate she faces in Indianapolis. She has to cope with Stephanie White, the head coach, who has been seen on tape physically grabbing her by the arm at frustrated times when she is on the sidelines. Instead of placing the ball in the hands of the world's best playmaker, her head coach openly and proudly informs the media that she intends to run the offense via Dyrus Dantas and Myesha Hines-Allen on the quarter court. In order to artificially raise bench players who average precisely 1 point per game, she must contend with a front office run by Kelly Kroskoff and Amber Cox that purposefully and cruelly excludes her from the advertising images. She must contend with a poisonous, very insecure, cruel female mentality that openly despises her extraordinary worldwide fame and sees her as a danger to their long-standing, antiquated hierarchy rather than the salvation of their whole sport. Thus, Caitlin Clark is carrying out the ultimate, indisputable leverage move. Her signature is being held captive by her. She is conveying an unmistakably horrifying message while looking straight at the Simon family ownership group. I need you much less than you need me. I will not sign that document if you don't clean up after yourselves, dismiss Stephanie White, and hire a coaching team that really appreciates my brilliance and creates a cutting-edge system around my skill set. I'll fulfill my obligations. I'll become a free agent with no restrictions. And I'll bring my generational skill, my worldwide brand, and my millions of followers to a franchise that really knows how to handle a superstar. And the bit that scares the Indiana Fever executive branch the most. Their franchise's financial base is already utterly disintegrating in real time, demonstrating how dependent they are on her specific brand, so they know she is not joking. Now let's turn to the hard, cold, and mathematically catastrophic economic statistics. Because the fanbase is carrying out one of the most successful, well-planned, and vicious financial boycotts in the history of North American professional sports, while the front office uses its promotional posters to play small-time, high school-level political games.
Say she's signing it. So at the end of the day, I think Caitlin Clark needs to continue to leave the door open on potentially not signing with the Indiana Fever. Now, shout out to Rhodes Rants. He posted this, and then he said, well, we're witnessing the biggest bag fumble of all time by the Indiana Fever. Wow. And I agree. Now, what this is the yearly league attendance by the team. Now, you already know, the Indiana Fever, they're doing absolutely anything to get people to come out to these games. They're doing all type of gimmicks that we hadn't seen them do. We hadn't had to see them go to within Caitlin Clark's.
The new annual league attendance figures were just posted by a well-known and reputable WNBA analytics account, and the results are a complete and utter disaster for the Indiana Fever. The Golden State Valkyries, a recently formed expansion club, are drawing enormous crowds. The league is firmly dominated by the New York Liberty. The Atlanta Dream are generating sizable home fans and pack the house on the road when they play in a much smaller facility. The A.J. Wilson-led Las Vegas Aces are routinely and easily selling out. And the Indiana Fever are at the bottom of the list, sitting in an embarrassing, utterly pitiful, and fully preventable 5th place in league attendance. 5th position. Discuss the largest and most disastrous bag fumble in the annals of contemporary sports economics. $1 billion golden ticket that has been totally choked away. The Indiana Fever were the most sought-after and exclusive ticket on the globe only a year ago, during Caitlin Clark's amazing rookie season. Every home game at Gainbridge Fieldhouse was sold out. On the road, they were selling out enormous NBA venues with 20,000 seats. Desperate fans were spending thousands of dollars to sit in the upper bowl and get a sight of the Logo 3, causing the secondary ticket market to actually explode. They were the WNBA's unquestioned cash cow, the rising tide that literally lifted every boat and helped the league land a huge new broadcast agreement worth billions of dollars. They are currently in 6th place. Every night, they gaze at thousands of vacant blue seats inside Gainbridge Fieldhouse. How can a brand go from being an unstoppable worldwide success to ranking 5th in attendance in less than a day? It necessitates a degree of front desk ineptitude that is almost unthinkable.
Every home and away game just off of the name Caitlin Clark alone. Do you guys have screwed the pooch, man? You blew it. You don't think that you guys putting Raven Johnson, who plays 5 minutes a game, averaging 1 point a game, on flyers instead of Caitlin Clark plays an effect on the attendance? You guys don't think the fact that you keep trying to put Kelsey Mitchell front and center on all the promotional kits and put Caitlin Clark off to the side, that has an effect?
Caitlin Clark's admirers didn't stop adoring her overnight. The Indiana Fever organization was just no longer trusted by the supporters. You cannot expect your paying clients to continue mindlessly opening their wallets while you openly spit in their faces on a regular basis. The world's best point guard's marketing cannot be aggressively suppressed. Put Kelsey Mitchell and Raven Johnson on all of your billboards. Act startled and wounded when casual fans cancel their pricey season tickets, but treat your franchise savior like a replaceable part player. It is unquestionably fundamental marketing math. The fans are making a very obvious financial statement. Rather than the Indiana Fever emblem, we are devoted to Caitlin Clark. We will starve your organization financially until you succumb if you abuse her, undermine her minutes, and disrespect her legacy. And the Fever front office's pure, unmitigated desperation to halt the bleeding has made them the laughingstock of the whole league.
The yearly league attendance by the team. Now, you already know, the Indiana Fever, they're doing absolutely anything to get people to come out to these games. They're doing all type of gimmicks that we hadn't seen them do. We hadn't had to see them go to within Caitlin Clark's first 2 seasons. All of a sudden, they're giving away free tenderloin sandwiches. They're giving away free oil changes. They're doing housing.
Due to their obstinate refusal to embrace the Caitlin Clark phenomena. Additionally, they are pathologically fixated with demonstrating that they are a cohesive team that doesn't need a single star. To get people to attend the arena, they have been forced to resort to the most ridiculous minor league baseball gimmicks. They are essentially pleading with people to come. Free cups of ice cream are being distributed at the entryway. Family evenings are being held, and tickets cost $28 and come with complimentary Cheetos and tepid hot dogs. Free oil changes are being given freely. That seems like a parody, so let me say it again. If you purchase a ticket to a professional WNBA team's game, you will get complimentary tires and oil changes thanks to a partnership with local mechanics. According to very reliable sources, they are even holding raffles for living room furniture sets and providing free house repairs in order to get warm people into the seats so that the lower bowl's obvious emptiness won't be seen by the national media cameras. It is the epitome of being really depressed when you go out. It is a professional sports team's complete humiliation. You are literally begging mechanics to give away oil changes to fill your arena because you are too obstinate and self-centered to just market your superstar and fire your incredibly inept head coach, even though you currently have the female Michael Jordan on your roster, a player who naturally, effortlessly commands global attention. For this reason, Caitlin Clark's decision to decline the long-term extension on that podcast is the most clever, vital, and deadly thing she could do.
This is mind-boggling. And this organization, I think Caitlin Clark needs to seriously consider walking away from the Indiana Fever. Don't sign that epic deal. Pack your bags and go elsewhere. Walk away from them. I mean, if they don't get it together, you got to hold their feet to the fire. I would, coach, get out of my way. Y'all gonna start promoting.
She is fully pushed into a corner with no way out and has the Indiana Fever. She is bringing their feet up to the blazing fire. She fully gives up her leverage if she signs that huge deal now. Up until 2029, she is ensnared in Stephanie White's antiquated, leisurely post-hub offense from the 1990s. Amber Cox's terrible marketing tactics and Kelly Kroskoff's poisonous locker room politics imprison her forever. She would be giving up the prime of her career to a company that actively despises her accomplishments. However, she becomes the most powerful person in the league right away by leaving the door open by turning to face the camera and declaring, "We'll figure that out." She is aware, as are the Indiana Fever, that there are 11 other franchises in the area that are extremely capable, well-managed, and have substantial financial support. If she expressed a desire to leave, they would literally fire all of their coaching staff, clear their entire salary cap, and give her the keys to the city tomorrow morning. Take a look at the Toronto expansion team. They have a lot of foreign support, a clean slate going into the league, and an urgent need for a franchise face. Sandy Brondello and other top coaching brains are allegedly their objective. Imagine Caitlin Clark leaving the poisonous environment of Indiana to start a Canadian basketball dynasty entirely on her own terms, with a front office that respects the ground she walks on. Take a look at the Golden State Valkyries, a team that was founded on the same principle of superior perimeter shooting and spacing in which Clark excels. There are several possibilities available to her, all of which are much better than the horror she is presently experiencing. The Simon Family Ownership Group is now formally operational. The grace period is completely ended. Their profit margins are being severely reduced by the empty seats, and their front office ineptitude has an unavoidable expiry date thanks to the widely shared podcast tape. Now is the time for you to make a decision. Stephanie White is yours to keep. You can shield the poisonous front office's delicate egos. Dyrus Dantas allows you to continue operating your quarter-court offensive. And you can witness Caitlin Clark depart your franchise, pack her things, and go back to the utterly depressing irrelevance of performing in front of 3,000 people in a quiet, echoing barn. Alternatively, you may pretend to be a billion-dollar sports entertainment company. The home is spotless. Anyone who got in her way should be fired. Hire a head coach like Lisa Bluer who really knows how to unleash a generational genius and ensure your company's competitive and financial destiny for the next 10 years. You can't have it both ways. Caitlin Clark is no longer being humiliated by the Indiana Fever. The leverage has entirely and irreversibly changed. Every card is in the player's possession. Millions of followers across the globe are actively supporting her financially since the contract is about to expire. WNBA Pro is this. If you want the highly analytical, brave, and uncensored truth about the deeply ingrained business and politics of the WNBA that the media networks are entirely afraid to broadcast, hit the subscribe button right now. In the comments section below, share your most explosive, unvarnished opinion. By declining to commit to that podcast, is Caitlin Clark making the biggest leverage move in WNBA history? Will Stephanie White be fired by the Indiana Fever ownership as a result of the large, well-organized financial boycott? I want all sincere basketball opinions to be posted in that comment area. The Indianapolis Civil War is about to reach critical mass, so hit the notification bell. The official ticking clock has begun, and we are recording every single move taken and every single dollar lost. We'll see you in the next video.